Friends, if you're looking for real old-school laughs, you're in for a treat because we've got them right here. Flip City Magazine. Remember Mad Magazine? Then it went woke? Well, don't worry. Flip City has no chance of going woke. That's right. 4 times a year, you'll get an actual printed magazine full of jokes, stories, comics, and more, all about today's pop culture, entertainment, and woke politics. Flip City takes terrible entertainment trends we love to hate with hilarious parodies of Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Hunters, and more. Trust me when I say there is nothing else like Flip City on the market. So subscribe today. It will be delivered in print, or you can even get it digitally if you're one of those wacky Zoomers. Either way, follow our link and sign up today, and if you put in midnight, you get an extra 10% off. Check out Flip City Magazine today. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. It's time once again. It's Tuesday. It's the 12th of September. We have a hell of a panel with us. In fact, I'm so glad he's back. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him by song. Ole! The one, the only, Mike, the Mexican Iron Man. Today's Mexican Tax Man.
See flying through that window. He's the pride of Mexico. No lady can resist the magic of his kiss, the woo of his tongue. No
I got stuck on the cable.
the might of his fist.
That's right. Mexican Iron Man is back, kids.
That is some beautiful authenticity right there.
He's back.
I'm even wearing a green shirt. Hold on.
You
I'm
are.
stuck. Hold on. Hey. Where's the camera?
More like Kryborg than
Where are you at today? Are you at mom's house or where are you at?
I'm at mom's house, set up on my laptop with this $20 headset I got at Best Buy on the kitchen table.
Tell mom we said hi.
Sounds good.
Ma, Tom
Hello.
says hi, and so does all my other friends on the Tuesday, Thursday.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Hey, Mom.
Hello.
Mom says hi. She says, come over for chorizo.
And
I
just,
want to.
Ooh.
Mikey, tell her that it's
That
not
sounds
too late
amazing.
for corporal punishment for her child. It's not too late.
She won't try to pawn your sister off on me.
And
though,
she
will
wants to know where you guys are from. Script is from Canada. See, my friend is from Canada. Nick is from, I have no idea.
Chirac.
Claudia, Mom wants to know how we're going to get it all together. Well, I don't know. All right, back to the show.
We'll
Mom will
figure
figure it
out
out.
We'll have to fax it. I've heard that.
Yes,
how it
I am
works.
back. I am back. I am here. I've been sent as a special envoy of peace to your Midnight's Edge After Dark MEAD peoples in the panel. I have been sent as an envoy of peace, as a representative of the Zack Snyder International Brotherhood of Fandom. I come in peace. Yes, thank you.
Better together is their motto.
That's the Sizzy Boff? That's what it is? The Zack Snyder International Brotherhood of Fandom, the Sizzy Boff?
That would be about right for Zack.
That
That sounds about right for a Snyder brohood. Yeah.
Tom's become the new
We're not- we're
supervillain.
not- We're not very creative because we don't have to be. We just wait for our overlord and master, Zack Snyder, to
Yeah,
let us
I'm
know
like-
what to do.
I'm like just killing Snyder hose.
Snyder.
You
They're-
are
they're-
no
they're-
match
they're-
for me.
They're very
I'm sure
peculiar
you're going to
breed.
be the supervillain in his next movie.
That's right. Probably will be some fat white dude who looks a lot like me. Anyway, we also have with us Clobbering Times.
Yes, clobbering times. Hey, buddy. Good to see my good friends on the panel and friends out there in the chat. Let's have a fun clobbering night. Or you don't have to clobber, you
Yeah.
just do whatever you want.
Good to have you back.
Thank you, buddy.
Also, we have Nick Weiser, as we said, hanging out in Chirac.
Chirac.
Hello, Script, 70s, Mike, the greatest YouTuber on earth, Klobby, and Tom. And hello to our ever exquisite chat and our mod wrenches. Yeah, slow Tuesday, but we'll have a few things to talk about, and we're gonna be in, and then we're gonna slide right out. It's gonna be a nice and swift tonight from the meters.
That wasn't gay at all. Script Doctor's also with us. How you doing? Speaking of not being gay at all.
I'm doing well. A little tired, but happy to be here talking some the end of the Snyderverse and Pet Sematary and more. And it's funny. Yesterday, while I was in an all-day conference, one GIF of the Minions triggered a whole slew of Snyder fans.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Welcome to my world, Script. In fact, I already did the joke on WDW Pro, but I was going to come into the show just be like all. Because I can't talk on Twitter. For I won my appeal, and I'm back, baby.
I would much rather watch Minions: The Rise of Gru than anything from that universe of not DC movies.
I think watching Script and I fuck with Snyder fans has become its own sport at this point.
It is a sport, dude.
I love it.
You get to, it's kind of like Major League Baseball. Like there's so many of them, you could fill out 162 games, and then you could get to a playoffs and then a World Series. They just keep going and going, just like the amount of baseball games that keep going.
The hopping from subjects every time they get schooled is hysterical, because I merely just pointed out that Zack Snyder's a terrible judge of character, and I shared two examples, the obvious ones. And they're just like, well, he's not responsible for what they do off set. I'm like, no one ever said he was. It's all about being, figuring out that, hey, these people have had red flags about them for years. Lots of actors and talent do. So same with directors and producers. And if you are a good director, you spot those red flags and you make an educated guess of whether or not you want to work with them. Many don't. That's why there's certain crazy actors you've seen on television and film that don't work too much, because people recognize that they're crazy. Zach is not one of them. He's he's struck out 3 times because a cast member of his zombie film on Netflix had to be replaced by
true.
Taro.
That's true. Because by the time you add in Amber Heard, Ezra Miller, and
that guy. I called him out back in 2011 when I got to be an audience member for the pilot of Whitney, which is Whitney Cummings' sitcom. And I saw him. I'm like, that guy's not right. Something's up with him. He's creepy. He's got a problem. And I made sure everybody in my circles of Hollywood knew. And he wasn't getting much work. And lo and behold, time told that the secrets were revealed.
Scripts, how can you tell one crazy from another in Hollywood acting fraternity? That's a good point.
There's certain levels of dedication and inability to recognize comedy. Like Bradley Cooper is another one who's on my list. I'm like, something's going to be revealed dirty about him any day now. There's something.
It's funny. You're not the first person who's mentioned him. I'm just gonna say that, and that's it.
Yeah, that's all we have to actually say, really.
You know who else you got to worry about being creepy is that Mexican Iron guy.
You're lustful, Mike.
You're lustful, but you're lustful in cute way. Like you're like Pepe Le Pew. Like if it's kind of grapey, but not really.
Well, you're beckoning for love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though they say no, you're not being any forceful.
No.
And when they get used to you, they're all over you.
That is exactly my love life in a heartbeat. Oh my God, let's write that down. Hold on, I gotta write that down. You just captured my love life in a script. The one thing you gotta do for me, put in my Twitter what you just said. You gotta type that out. That is the best expression of my love life.
Well, luckily it's recorded.
And it's funny, Tom, that you say Pepe Le Pew, because I credit 2 people with inspiring my taste in dating. Captain James T. Kirk and Pepe Le Pew, because I saw those reruns from age 6 to 14.
That makes a
over-
lot of sense.
Like I feel like I started with Pepe Le Pew, who is by far my favorite character in that of all those cartoons. And then right when I feel I learned everything I could from him, then I found Star Trek reruns in the I went from He-Man to Star Trek reruns.
Well, we
And
got to
before that
introduce
was-
Brian yet. So how
Yeah,
you
let's
doing,
introduce
Brian?
that 70s
Well,
rock band.
I'm doing very well, thank you. The thing is, Mikey has got so much love to give. That's what it is.
He does. Well, and I
There's
see
so much to give.
I've heard him say this before, but it does make so much sense because you look at him and he really is the two, right? He comes up and he thinks he's all smooth like Captain Kirk. He's like, "Hey, how would you like to go out in my car and take a ride?"
He's like a puppy that's just tipped over into maturity and is just get
I'd like to go somewhere
Where's the
where no
girls?
man
Where's
has
the
gone
girls?"
before. And then as soon as they say, "No, I'm good," he's like, "But the moon is so beautiful, is it not? No? Wouldn't you like to come outside? No?"
Mikey Le Pew.
You know what?
Just
You
very
guys,
hard to get.
you guys better stop judging my life choices. You're not creating
We
a safe
love you,
space.
Mikey Le Pube, perhaps.
Mikey Le Pew. Oh, but he gets the ladies. We can't, as much as we
He
pick
does.
on
He
him.
does get the
He
ladies.
does.
He does.
They
really
like
has so
they like
much
the
to give.
size of his pocketbook.
They like
Yeah,
the
hey.
girth of it. The girth of his body.
I'm
That's what
fine.
makes
I'm
it so
numbers.
sexy.
I'm 5'10" without heels or without steadying on my wallet, so it makes me like 6'4". Woohoo!
Wow.
Yeah, you must like walking around Hollywood because you pretty much can see over almost everybody's head.
Yeah, I'm like 5'9". You're
dude,
taller
you
than
are-
me, dude.
Dude, you are so right. I remember when I was in Santa Monica and a lot of these post-production accounting review meetings, I was shocked by how so much of the talent and definitely the writing staff and some of the, especially the producer director staff. Yeah, like average height's like 5'6" to 5'8". Like
Yeah,
easily.
no. Every time I go out there, I feel like a giant.
Yeah.
And I'm
We got
probably like shoulder to shoulder with Mikey on average. So yeah.
I'm 5'9", like I said, so he's an inch taller than me at least. Hey, Andy's in the chat. How you doing, Andy?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
So, Tom,
yeah.
can I say, it's not just Snyder fans you're pissing off. Have you been pissing off Chucky fans too or something? What was all that
That's
about?
not even a fight, man. Like that's just like that's seriously like, when you get a little crumb on your leg and you just gotta brush it off. That's what that is right now. It's like I made the mistake of saying, yeah, season 2 went fucking woke. And all the woke folks are like, and they're making it so fucking easy. Like the one idiot's like, name one franchise that went woke and went broke.
Well, naming one is hard. You could name dozens.
That's what I'm like. I'm like, name one that was
Which
fucking
one?
popular. Like,
Well, the thing is that if
actually, it was the other way because, like, however it worked out, I'm like, no, you tell me one franchise that didn't destroy itself by going
I
woke.
mean, if
Anyways,
they own
sorry.
it, and
Yeah.
if they own it and say yes, it has gone woke, and I like it that way, fine.
There has been a few that have said that, and that's fine. And that one dude, I kind of like said that to him, and eventually he just got pissy and blocked me. But I was like, I wasn't even antagonizing him after a while.
If
But
that's what
whatever.
they
It is
want,
what it is.
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with it. If that's what they want, I mean, we don't like.
I didn't even hate the
our
second
stuff.
season. It's really just the first episode that spends the whole episode concentrating on a gay relationship. But it's like, okay, we already know this. Move past it. I want to see Chucky kill somebody. Like,
Yeah.
and then there's this, and then you realize about 2 or so episodes in, like Don Mancini's whole bit this season is every episode is like inspired by a movie. And you get to an episode that is inspired by Knives Out. And it is the worst fucking episode ever. It is one of the wokest shows I've ever seen in my life of woke shows or movies. And I was just like, why is this? Okay, and I know you guys don't
Inspired by
give a shit.
Knives Out.
I know that's the first problem. And then like they have this whole deal is okay. And I know you guys don't give a shit about Chucky really, but just for context here,
No.
back in Seed of Chucky, they had a kid, right? And the kid
Yeah.
didn't know if it wanted to be a girl or a boy.
Glenn or
They ended
Glenda.
up, she
Edward
had
joke,
twins, so they had them transfer into a boy and a girl. Glenda was the little witch, and Glenn was the nice one. So in the new series, when they bring them in that episode, this is them now, played by the same actress.
Mm.
What?
Mm.
Exactly my point, Script. And I'm like, you could have even had fun with this by having the boy wanting to be a girl and a girl wanting to be a boy, and it would actually make sense within the context.
Or they
This
screwed
makes
up the
absolutely no
thing where
sense.
Glenn went into the girl's body and Glenda went into the boy's body.
Exactly my
accident.
point. You could have played with it any fucking way you wanted. This
That's
makes
a very
no
John
sense.
Waters tropey thing to do if they did it that way.
Exactly. You get where I'm coming from, Script. You and I both would like. I'm sitting here looking at this, going, Don, what the fuck are you thinking? And then the whole episode is about them killing people over them being bi, trans, gay, whatever the fuck, and basically trying to say that they should, that it's justified because of how basically unwoke the individuals were that they killed.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yikes.
See, because that's the other part is Glenn is not supposed to want to kill. Glenda's the one.
Glenn's the human one, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Glenda's daddy's little girl. More or less.
Yeah.
Because that was the joke, is Chucky wanted a son, and then the one that came out being the little killer like he wanted was the girl. Basically, that was kind of the joke at the end of the movie. But anyway, Picasso has become a new member.
It's like real life, really.
Isn't it? My son wants to be a girl. My girl.
And the girls want to be killers. They've always been killers.
They're all killers.
How dare you?
Who is that boy you keep showing?
I don't
Pepe
know.
Le Pew
Pepe Le Pew's his name.
Pepe Le Pew and Captain James T. Kirk made sure I never had those questions about what direction I was going in.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
It's funny that you bring up the Looney Tunes because one of my friends, he's got a toddler now who's starting to talk and watch other cartoons, and he asked me to recommend him some old cartoons, and I gave him the old Merry Melodies, the old Looney Tunes stuff, and then I found the old Tiny Toon Adventures. And as I'm prepping the package for them, I see advertised on Max, there's a new Tiny Toon Adventures, Looniversity, and I take a look at it, and it's like, well, it's as far away from woke as you can get while still doing some of the diversity stuff. But they did ruin one aspect, is that they made Buster and Babs Bunny twins as opposed to a dating couple.
I heard that. I remember that was a kind of a weird thing they did.
It was very odd.
Because it ruins the joke too, right?
Well, yeah, it ruins the joke. But also on top of that, this isn't a sequel and this isn't a reboot. This is pretty much a full blown remake.
Weird.
And it's kind of harmless, but it also is not as funny as the Paul Ruger produced Tiny Toon Adventures. So I said, skip it. Just take all this stuff. And yesterday I got like a text. The kid won't turn off the Tiny Toons. He was watching it most of the day, just episode after episode, laughing his butt off at it. And it's you're like, yeah, you shouldn't really try to reboot a classic, especially a great classic like that. And here they are doing it.
I was surprised by how good Tiny Toons was when it came out, because I wasn't initially expecting it to be that great.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually has some really great stuff in it, actually. And I don't think if we hadn't had that, we obviously wouldn't have got Animaniacs either. But yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like basically coming up with similar archetype characters of the classic ones, but younger, but also they're not related. They're being mentored by the old guard from the 33 cartoons, and they've made each of their characters as individual as they could while still having a couple of overlapping qualities of their mentors, or the ones that they're inspired by. Like, and of course, Babs Bunny always steals the show. I'm forgetting the name who voiced her, but she is underused these days, even though she's still working. She's brilliant. She can do any impersonation. And then you also had Frank Welker in there as well, doing a bunch of voices. Yeah, those classic cartoons in the 90s. Like, I mean, say what you will about Disney making their theatrical stuff. When it came to TV, Warner Brothers dominated.
Oh, dude, Warner Brothers. I was a Warner Brothers kid, man.
Yeah,
I was all Animaniacs, Batman the Animated Series. I even watched Tiny Toons Adventures, dude.
And
Pinky and
Freakazoid,
the
man,
Brain, of
Freakazoid
course.
was hysterical.
Tasmania.
Yeah, dude. Freakazoid. We have. I got that recently for my girlfriends. They get them right. We have Freakazoid now to watch all the both seasons. That was such an underrated show, Freakazoid, and that opening jingle for Freakazoid was incredible.
The fact that they got Norm from This Old House to be a voice character on the show as himself
Hmm.
is just it's like out of this world crazy. It's Tess McNeil. Thank you very much, Mecha J. Yeah,
Tress McNeil. Yeah.
Tess McNeil.
Yeah.
Like literally the worthy successor to Mel Blanc. Like
Yeah.
she could do everyone. In fact, I think it was Maurice LaMarche, who was like worried on this one episode where Tress impersonates all the other characters through the voice of Babs Bunny, and they got so terrified of how good she was that they'd all be fired and they'd just hire her to do the entire cartoon by herself.
Yeah, that I love that wave of early to mid 90s of Warner Bros. Cartoons. Yeah, we had a lot of like Warner Brothers cartoons always in the house. And you know what? I never complain. I mean, Looney Tunes were my jam, and Marvin Martian, my all-time favorite Looney Tunes character is why I got a glass of him. Because that makes me very angry.
I grew up on that stuff. Yeah, Looney Tunes
Me too.
cartoons in the 60s and early 70s. Yeah.
Oh man, the Bugs Bunny and Tweety Bird show, which is the collection of all the
Mhm.
serial shorts that they did. That was
Yes.
that was
I loved
wonderful.
Sylvester and Tweety Pie. I used to love that. That was good.
Dude, and then original Tom and Jerry, man. Oh, I rewatched the hell of original Tom and Jerry so much. It's like, oh, you want to have actual escapism, man. Tom and Jerry is perfect, and that was back in the time where that was probably the last wave of cartoons in the '90s, from the Tom and Jerry's to the Geddy Tartakovsky's, where you would see the bottom of half of the adult bodies and never the top. And the few times you see the top, you would see that be nothing up above. Was it Powerpuff Girls where they show that, or was it Dexter's Lab? I can't remember, but that was hilarious. No. They showed some. No, they didn't show a certain face in Powerpuff Girls. It was it the mayor's assistant? They didn't show her face. She just had hair covering her face. But I think it was Dexter where you only saw the legs of the body. I can't remember. But it was,
Dexter,
that was the last decade.
You definitely saw Dexter's parents.
Was it?
Yeah, because you'd see his mom was a redhead, always wearing the dish gloves, and his dad was some guy. I forget.
You know what? Was it Cow and Chicken? I don't remember being
Maybe it
Cow
was
and
Cow and
Chicken.
Chicken?
I can't remember. It definitely was not Johnny Bravo, though. I love that show.
Johnny
That show's
Bravo, you just never
hilarious.
see his mom, I think, right?
No. Oh man, that's huge.
Well, let's keep moving here. We've got we got a new member in Picasso. Thank you so much. I don't know what level it's at. I didn't get a chance to check that out. Let me see here if I can still see. I don't know. It's too late probably now. But there you go. And also Captain Fandom Nerd has been a member for 28 long months. Thank you so very much for the support, my friend. We appreciate that. And then we got Doug, 1985 VA loves horror. Says, Tom, you want to buy that new monster truck? Start prepping that everything wrong with Rebel Moon now. Have a script doctor narrate it and drop it 2 days after the release. It's going to take us 2 days just to watch it.
Yeah, it's a very long movie.
Holy shit, no,
that's how you open it. Took us 2 days to watch.
Guys, I've been as the official Snyder representative on this stream. I want you to know that Zack Snyder wanted me to let you guys know that that he has made sure that there's plenty of Snyder watching to be done. And while the movie will be 4 hours and 21 minutes, including credits, Zack wanted me to tell you, you're welcome.
I got a message for Zach. He's a cunt.
Yes. That's all there is. He is that.
He said that in a very Canadian way with like little up pitch at the end.
Talentless. Talentless.
Yeah, talentless cunt. Add the talentless part. That's important.
That's the Snyder cut of that statement.
The extended one, yeah.
We could we could straight up maybe rival Mauler if we had the current gang we had together to rip apart what will be the absolute destruction
I
of
thought you
Rebel
said for a
Moon.
second there the current gay we have together.
That's Toxic Tuesday.
Gay powers together.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
Toxic Tuesday.
Yeah, that's premature.
That's Toxic Tuesday. It runs on gay power.
By our gay powers combined, we are Captain. I can't say the last word.
Is that what you meant by prepping the package earlier?
I guess so, right?
Oh Lord,
Captain,
Lord.
get
You know what's
And the
funny?
Alphabet Crew.
We could have done that sketch on Funny or Die 10 years ago, and no one
Yes.
would have batted an eye.
It would have been Captain and the Alphabet Crew.
He's the hero. Gonna poke him down to 0.
Gonna make him a bottom. Faku,
Even though he's on top. Ho!
I can't
Fuck
tell the
off.
bottom from the top.
Yeah, that's right. Facatino, if I'm saying that
Or
right.
the agate tears.
How do you say that? Fasutino?
Oh.
Fasutino.
Facetino. 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 Facetino.
I can't do it.
I am so sorry we fucked up your name.
Facatino.
So sorry.
Facatino.
It sounds like I was like, fuck.
I know. I
Facatino.
miss 90s, mid 2000s movie and TV content when Disney go woke. Remember
When
having
did?
classics like, or when did, are you asking? We can probably
They
somewhere
started
between
getting-
2014 and 15, 16, somewhere in there.
Well, that's when people started noticing it. But
That's
they've
what
been
I mean.
building
So it had to
towards
be a
it.
little before. Yeah.
They've been building towards it. I started picking this up in 2012.
Yeah.
So-
That sounds probably about right. Remember the Titans and Miracle. Great films. Yeah. Disney used to do
good.
a lot
Yeah.
of different types of films for better or worse. And we've even talked about how, you know, they used to make movies like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and, you know, even stuff like the Mighty Ducks and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff they did in
yeah.
that era. You know, sure, it's not great entertainment, but I mean,
It was entertaining.
for
Mighty
kids, it
Ducks,
worked.
fine.
Yeah.
It worked. Yeah, I mean, listen, some of their sports movies that Disney did were downright fine. They're some were
They
great and
had
some
an
were
audience.
mediocre, but not like revoltingly terrible.
Right. Like, I
Mighty
mean,
Ducks is great. Nothing wrong with it.
especially the
Yeah.
first one. The second one, the third
Second
one.
and third one didn't need to really be made.
There's
Yeah.
moments in the second one I do dig, but like, yeah, to me, the weird thing is, and this is, I don't know if anybody else agrees with me on this or gets what I'm saying, and it might be because I think even the same director might direct the second Mighty Ducks. I could be wrong though. But for some reason, the Mighty Ducks compared to the Mighty Ducks 2 feels almost like how TMNT feels compared to Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
It has this weird, like the first movie takes itself seriously, a little more grounded, a little more dark, but it has a lot of comedic moments. The second movie feels like we have to ham this up and make it feel like a cartoon, kids.
Well, it's like Kids Olympics, isn't it? Something like
Yeah.
that? Like, if I remember
Well, they end up
correctly.
going to the Olympics. I don't know if it's the straight up Olympics or just happens to be like a junior division or
It had
something
to
like
be a
that. But
junior,
yeah.
'cause there's no way they'd have the kids who aren't
Well,
just entering high school.
Junior,
be in
junior
the,
Goodwill.
I was trying to
Games,
remember.
apparently.
Yeah, it was a
Junior
Goodwill
something or other.
Games.
Yeah, I
Goodwill
don't know. But it
Games,
was
yeah.
attached to the Olympics because Disney was
Mm.
pumping up a bunch of shit with the Olympics. That's around the same time they did Cool Runnings, which
Mhm.
is another great film, even though it's
Mm.
not even remotely based on the true story, hardly, but they do use some of the real footage in it, I guess.
You Tom Connors, you got to support the movie, man.
I love Cool Runnings, unapologetically.
You no got no
man.
treat
Oh,
blood
I
out of
love
your
Cool
face,
Runnings.
man.
Snow, you don't have any. A team, you don't have one. A bobsled, you don't have one. Time, you don't have any.
and yet they qualified.
You
Yep.
dead, man?
No.
Oh, my lucky egg.
Everybody loves an underdog story. Doesn't matter.
Oh, dude,
What
they're
sport? Yeah.
great. It's great stories to start with. I
Everyone
mean,
loves them,
especially
yeah.
in sports. I mean, the
Oh,
team that
God, yeah.
sucks and they take it all the way to win the championship. People love that type of stuff. Angels in the Outfield, was that Disney too, or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, Christopher Lloyd one. Yeah, it was a remake, but yeah.
Yeah.
Even for a remake, like even I was surprised how good Homeward Bound was.
I
With-
remember Homeward Bound. Yeah.
with Michael J. Fox and speaking of remakes, yeah, with
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox, Don Amici, and Sally Field. That was just a nice fun time. That was one of the last times I remember my family actually going to a movie all together. Was Homeward Bound. Yeah.
I remember when.
The second one
I
can
don't know.
suck a dick, but yeah. I don't even know why the second one exists. Like, like, first of all, those people should not have those pets no more. Like, you lost them once.
You lost them again.
Like,
As bad as Home Alone.
I know, right? But that's not kids though. You can leave kids a lot of places alone and get away with it. It's not an animal, right?
As long as they're your own kids, yeah. But
Yeah, as long as they're your own kids. Master Trek says pitch a sequel reboot of Mighty Ducks first. Well, we did get a sequel reboot, whatever you want to call it. Disney fucked it up.
oh, the
The
Disney
first
Plus show,
season
yeah.
wasn't too bad. It was all right. It had a momentum to it. And then they killed it by dropping fucking Emilio Estevez over not wanting to get the shot. And I'm like, what are you doing? I actually like this idea because most sports guys, they don't go on to be successes and all this shit afterwards. They spend all their money and they do stupid shit like he did. Right? Like, I
He was a
liked that
lawyer.
aspect of the character. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's a shit lawyer on top of it now because he got disbarred or whatever it was for whatever he did. I can't remember now because it's been so long since I watched. That first season was pretty good. I did not even bother with the second season, so I can't even tell you.
I mean, well, if you're going to do a movie one, I would have Joshua Jackson basically have a kid that's facing juvenile hall, and the only way to rescue him from it is to put him into sports, and he starts up the Mighty Ducks again and gets a whole team of misfits.
It's Bombay as a lawyer, yeah.
Yeah, Bombay's the lawyer that helps him get his kid out, like, on this probationary thing from being a troubled youth, and tries to just make it a good father-son rebuilding relationship story. Maybe after parents got divorced or mom got sick, and
I like that.
Something more like
that's kind of what I thought was going to happen in the reboot. Is I thought they'd end up bringing in Joshua Jackson or one of those guys to coach, but it ended up being that one kid's mom.
That's dumb.
Which I'm like,
the trouble is, Tom, they're associated with the Anaheim Ducks, who suck. So that's always going to be a disadvantage.
Well, that's Disney's fault. They decided, we got to have a fucking team.
Hockey joke.
Now we have to disassociate ourselves from that team because we ended up breaking a couple of laws.
Yeah.
What? No, that's how unusual.
I'm gonna go with
unusual for
scripts.
Disney, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
That's pretty much something I would come up with too, probably, or go along with. Unless anybody else got a better one than that.
I'm just spitballing, so I don't know. I don't even know what happened to the kid from the good team that came into Mighty Ducks. He wasn't in any of the sequels, was he?
Oh, Cake Eater. I think he was in he might have been. He was in the second one. Because there's a bit where they make fun of one of the other newer guys, and he's part of it, and because remember right, he has a scene where he's like, "I was the new guy once too," or something.
Oh,
like that.
right, yeah.
And then I don't know if he's in the third one or not, but I mean, yeah, you could get most of the kids back. They already got a chunk of them back for that series. That was the thing. It was like, well, where's the rest, right? Like,
well, I mean, one of them, I think he lost a lot of weight and went to jail, right?
He was in the show, though.
Oh yeah,
that was a weird thing. He went and spent all his money on drugs. Yeah. He pulled whatchamacallit, the kid from Terminator.
Edward Furlong.
Edward Furlong, when he got his payday for Terminator 3, he went and got wasted and ended up in fucking rehab.
I'd forgotten that Jussie Smollett was in the first
for 3, because he was supposed to be in 3. He got his check for it. He went and shot it up his arm, got fucking sent to rehab because he damn near killed himself. And then he said, yeah, you're not going to be in the movie. So... Yeah, he says to this day that's the one thing he regrets. I think it was one of the things he said, that he fucked that up pretty bad. Yeah, because that could have been his next step back into movies, because he hadn't done shit for a while there.
He was doing a lot of B, C, D movies in between. Yep.
And he hadn't had a hit in a while. Like his last hit was been Pet Sematary 2. Speaking of, that's a segue. We'll talk about Aquaman in a minute. We'll save that. But we got a Pet Sematary prequel trailer that nobody asked for. Yeah, with an old looking David Duchovny. Pam Grier's in it too. My question is, I'm trying to figure out, now this one says from the 83 Horror Tale. So is it a prequel to the original movie, or the remake, or something new? They don't really give you that in the trailer. The trailer looks very
blah,
basic, straight to cable kind of looking. Unless you guys feel any different, I'd like to know. I don't know who's all watched it yet, but it doesn't look anything.
Nothing.
Yeah, even Duck Nation said the trailer looked crap. Yeah, I mean, I guess it has a couple things going for it. Pam Grier and David Duchovny. Pam hasn't done nothing in a little while either.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So I haven't read the prequel. Is this following the story of the pets before they die?
Yeah. It's a happy tale.
It's a happy.
Everything's so get tortured and their evolution played around with, and all.
Has a very dark ending, but up to it, it's pretty good.
Up to the ending, it's real good. No, like the beginning, it just kind of feels off. Something about the whole thing just doesn't feel like, because the opening trailer. Because I'm not going to show it. Sorry, guys, I would, but it's Paramount. There's these young couple and they're driving and they hit a bird and the bird comes right back to life. Like, that's not how that fucking shit works. Like you have to bury it in a
is very
fucking
atrocious.
cemetery, you dumbass.
Right.
Like they're trying to say, oh, the power permeates or whatever. And then all of a sudden there's this dead dog there or whatever that's still obviously was brought back or whatever. And then of course, this feels a lot of the stuff I saw in this trailer felt like, well, these are the same kind of beats they already hit in the first film and Pet Sematary 2 in a lot of ways. And Pet Sematary 2 was one of those sequels that had no right to be as good as it was, but just because it had like fucking Edward Furlong and shit in it. Like, and was it Clancy Brown who played his stepdad in that too? I think. Or am I the only one who's seen it?
I haven't
didn't
seen
see
it in a
it.
long time. And if I did, I probably saw it on like the movie channel in Canada.
I didn't hate it. I do have it. I haven't watched it.
Didn't hate it.
Didn't hate it.
What?
Well, I expected it to be utter fucking trash, right? Like, yeah, it was Clancy Brown. Thanks, guys. So I thought he plays the asshole stepdad because that's one of the best parts is when he takes the fucking motorbike and crushes his face with the wheel.
He looks like he play a good asshole stepdad.
And he's a cop on top of it all. Yeah.
Oh man,
you haven't seen that one before, Nick? Or
I never have. I was never.
You might get a kick out of it.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll give it a shot. I've not, to be fair, I've not watched anything from that franchise in over 15 years.
It's more of a horror film
give it
than it is a
again.
Stephen King movie because it's a straight sequel. It's not like they're, trying to connect it to the first film in any way other than the idea of the Pet Sematary basically is the only real connection.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's kind of more of a fun horror film, more or less.
So when they make a prequel to this, and then they're going to introduce a new character, so they can introduce a prequel to that character who debuted in the prequel.
Well,
so prequel to the prequel.
I wonder if they're setting up like a TV series or some stupid shit.
A Pet Cemetery universe.
Knowing them, I'm like, that's the thing is, who in the world thought we needed this many fucking Pet Cemetery movies?
Bet it's coming, dude.
I mean, there's a lot of grades in that Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, it's a niche of a niche.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I always got the concept.
Maybe have it at a zoo instead of pets. Have a zoo cemetery.
Yeah, you're right. Your instincts are right, Tom. This doesn't lend itself to any kind of.
Oh, you're giving them ideas, 70s. You're giving them ideas with that. So that's makes you become Dinosaur Cemetery.
Rhinoceroses coming back to life, or
Well, you know what they're gonna do. If they did a series of it, they would basically have the U.S. military find out the power of the Pet Cemetery and start using that for their own purposes. And that's
making zombies and shit.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Turn them into weapons. Yes.
Terrible. Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't really be zombies; they'd be the undead. You're right, because I was waiting for script to correct me.
Fun
it
fact.
Would be undead. Undead.
PSU.
Drones.
Yeah.
Well, they're not really drones. They come back if they're mean.
They'd come back. Oh no, the army would develop some sort of like collar.
Well, it's because they probably figure it out, and I think it's in one of the books. Because actually, this is one of the few Stephen King stories where I will still say that the book is actually better than any of the movies yet. Even though the first film was very well cast and very well done, and it hit all the major story beats, the book is just that inch, just a little bit better. And it's like, yeah, when they return, their brain has deteriorated and shit, and that's why they act that way, I guess, is kind of how it's explained. So,
oh my God, that is exactly. I just had a brilliant creative idea. You guys have inspired me. Get it ready. You guys ready? Imagine this: Pet Cemetery 3 by Zack Snyder.
Oh my God, it'll be 8 hours long.
Yeah.
Yes. And only will still be a director's cut. He'll
still kill Superman just to be an asshole.
Yeah,
and he won't put him
Superman's
in the Pet
buried.
Cemetery.
That's what they do. The Justice League buries Superman in his Pet Cemetery, and that's the story.
I know what Justice League was.
That
if
was
you
Justice League. Yes.
And he comes back and you don't remember nothing, and he's a dick.
Yes, very original, Zach. Very original.
Zach stole it. He stole it. No, this is one of those Stephen King books, though, where I swear, I wonder if we're going to find out after he dies, like a bunch of other, like,
ghostwriters
come forward and wrote for him over the years, because so many of these stories, it's like, I can't believe this guy came up with so many of these stories to where they feel like they've always been here, right? Like they feel like legends. And Pet Cemetery is one of those stories that has all the elements of a perfect urban legend. Right. And that, along with some of his other books in this era, in that specific era for basically from Carrie through It. And then you can add Misery and maybe a few other ones in there. So maybe up through that, or whatever year that came out. I don't remember which one came first, but like that's about it. And then after that, he turned to shit. But that little small token of time, he's got so many stories in there that feel like they've always existed. And I don't
He's
know
got
how he
away
did
with it. I've been at a couple of seminars he's hosted where he has literally come up with a premise for a good horror book right in front of us,
Maybe it is
and
him.
we've still not seen it published yet.
I mean, it could just very well be him. I'm not trying to say it's not, but I wouldn't be surprised also if like years later we find out, oh yeah, a bunch of people helped him in those years when he had money because he just didn't have the time.
You've touched on something there, though, Tom, which I think is I've suspected for a long time that a large number of these older, famous, let's say, airport shelf novelists, their books are being ghostwritten now. Many of them, I think.
Some of the
Plausibly.
ones that are more names than they are talent, yeah, they've got a lot of
I
ghostwriters.
think there's a lot of ghostwriting going
I
on.
think
yeah.
I don't know if you've brought it up before, Script, but I've talked to other writers who have talked about, like that's not an uncommon thing for like a writer to be stuck on a deadline of some sort and to have somebody else either help them or buy a story even.
You've got actors that are writers that are, say, let's in their 80s and they're still churning out 1 or 2 books a year. Yeah, possibly not.
It depends on who the author is. I know a number of authors where they'll come up with the premise and a synopsis and an ending, and then they'll pass that off to basically a ghostwriter to write 200 to 300 pages.
Yeah.
See, and it is one of those where it feels like one of those stories that has always existed like a legend, but you're right. The ending he does not know how to end it, which is not that's one of Stephen King's biggest flaws. And that's even been made fun of a million times over, is he doesn't know how to end shit. Not always, but 9 times out of 10, he has a rough time with the ending.
So does that mean Hollywood has Stephen King syndrome? Hollywood doesn't know when to end things too? I'm just saying.
At least the current guard of executives are like that, yeah.
I think the problem with him is it could be that he came in an era where the 70s and 80s were two different, very storytelling eras. Like the 70s, you were allowed to have ambiguous or open-ended endings and very like oddball endings, and people would be more accepting of it, to where when you get to the 80s, people want to feel like they've got some kind of conclusion or satisfactory climax to it. And some of his stories just kind of limped through the ending. Yeah, they're very they're hot for a minute and they get you into it and you're sucked into it, and outside of a few, they just don't have the most climactic endings. And unfortunately for him, sometimes they're the most obvious, and it's like, just do the obvious thing. You know?
So Zack Snyder should have been born in the 70s.
He was.
I mean, he should have been making movies in the
70s.
He never made it in the 70s.
He could have directed the original Star Wars in a parallel universe.
I'd like to think that he thinks he's somebody like a Kubrick or something like that, but no, that ain't gonna happen.
The Moon Landing by Zack Snyder.
He would have invented the music video, and then people would be like, "Yeah, stay here."
I love it when our little argument
on the moon, he would have cried and talked about how much he hated his life.
Did you see that Script Doctor? Somebody's like, he's not even important enough to have directed any music videos, and then one of the Snyder fans is like, yes, he has, and he posted one. And I'm like, I mean, of a band that anybody's actually ever fucking heard of.
Yeah, he was a music video director for 10 years, desperately trying to break into mainstream, and he couldn't until everybody said, "No, we're not remaking Dawn of the Dead. We love Romero," and
it was the most ill-conceived, but it still managed to somehow come out the other end okay. So.
Yeah.
Okay, now
you've got for him for seizing the opportunity and making a career. The thing is that when you take a look at 300 and you take a look at the latest thing he did, there's no change in style, tone, execution, or pacing.
Yeah.
At all.
He did some Morrissey music videos.
Okay, that's the closest.
Morrissey. Yeah, that's about it.
Closest to anything anybody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
But whoever came up with the one, there's only one real concept in the Dawn of the Dead that I thought that they brought to the table that was original, or at least added something to it. And it feels so much like something Gunn would have wrote anyway, that I'm almost positive he did. And that's where Ving Rhames is communicating with the guy across the way in the gun store.
Yeah.
And their little thing. Mm-hmm. That is the only thing that felt like it was new and brought to the table. Anything different from the original. And that feels like something James Gunn would have done. Now the stupid baby bit, that feels like something Zack Snyder would do.
Yeah.
Now I can't say that it wasn't originally a James Gunn concept, but it ended up turning into something the way it looks, the way it was executed, the whole fucking thing. That was the part I disliked about the movie. Like, this does not need to be here.
Some of the abrupt editing and cuts in there were kind of off too.
Yeah, well, see,
I mean,
I
I
don't know
like
if I've
the
ever
opening
seen
a
the
lot,
theatrical cut. I'm trying to remember. I think I did see the theatrical because I saw it on a bootleg first. And then I saw the director's cut on DVD, yeah. Cow and Chicken, you only saw mom and dad's legs, says Waltman. Johnny Bravo's mom, Bunny Bravo, was fully there, and Dexter's parents were fully there.
I don't think I've seen the episode with Johnny Bravo's mom then.
The only one I can think of where you never see the adults, but you did once in a great while, was only on the TV series or in one of the movies, and that was Charlie Brown. Never on the specials.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You could hear the and that's it. But they actually had a few episodes where they did like some of the historical stories and stuff like that, where they actually have adult characters in there. And in the movies, they actually had a couple times where they had adults. That was the first time you ever saw adults in the Charlie Brown world. Was I believe, was it Snoopy Come Home was the first?
Could be.
I think it was either that one or the one where it's either that one or the race one, but I think it was Snoopy Come Home was the first one. But yeah. Anyway, that being said, moving on. Does anybody remember the black character in the Jetsons?
No.
There isn't any.
No.
There's none on the
So it's a trick
Flintstones either.
You almost had me. I was like, there was?
I think they added a black character to the Flintstones later on, but yeah, no, there wasn't originally. None. Not a one. Pilgrim Media says, I don't like seeing Mulder as an old man creepy. Yeah, I didn't even know that was him at first.
Yeah.
Fun fact, David Duchovny's mother was Scottish, so we'll claim him as one of ours.
That explains a lot. No wonder he fucks anything that moves.
No, he's not Mexican.
No, but Scots, you put your dick in everything, man. Jesus.
Hey, I heard that. I'm still here.
Animal, middle roller, vegetable, and vegetables struggle the least.
I thought you were prepping your package, Mikey.
Whoa.
All right, let's get into what everybody came for. The moment everybody's been waiting for.
Stephen King might not know how to end something, but Mikey always knows how to end it. He usually just jumps.
I argue Tom has a strong finish.
I do have a kind of a strong finish. That's true. I may fumble here and there. I may not be as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was.
But you stick the landing.
I do generally stick the landing. Yeah, Aqua Turd 2 gave us a teaser for a teaser trailer. and even the director thought it was funny, I guess. He tweeted back at my time to shine, like, ha ha ha, it's ridiculous or something like that. He said back. I don't remember, but yeah. So first of all, everybody's reaction to the teaser for the teaser trailer. Nick, go.
It looked like, I don't know, just like, I was just like, okay, there's a few seconds of a super CG movie. Like, I didn't hate it, but it's just like, That's just like, I'm just indifferent towards it. That's all. It's a 30-second teaser trailer for a movie that's, I don't even want to call it dead universe, because it technically never was a fully universe. It was, this movie just has no need for being made, which I honestly don't take pride in saying that statement, because I actually do like the character of Arthur Curry, and I do like the world of Atlantis and how rich and massive it is. And he does not have the biggest set of villains, but the few that he has are pretty cool.
I almost thought you were going to say nuts.
I say those for you. This is just a trailer to just feel like, okay, I just watched the trailer. That's all.
I don't more like really. I wouldn't even call it a sizzle reel.
Sorry. Yeah, it was not even a sample. It's like going to Costco and find out they have samples, and you didn't even get a sample. It was just like,
you just got to look at them.
Yeah, I basically got to look, and that's a problem. I like you gotta give me more than skin. You gotta give me the meat too.
You hear that?
No, I am not drunk.
He wants a consignment of sausage. That's what he wants.
No, Nick is like this on a regular basis.
Yeah, welcome to life, homie.
He's not drunk. He's only had 12 beers.
Yeah, he's still a good 4 or 5 away from being drunk. Script doctor, what was your first reaction?
I think Jason Momoa didn't work out for this film because a couple of the shots, his costume looked like it was computer animated over top of his body.
Probably.
I don't think he wore an actual costume. I think he wore those motion capture harnesses.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
fake costume on top of him. I did laugh out loud when he's riding the giant seahorse. I thought that was hysterical.
See, stuff like that I don't mind.
See, that's the thing is the way it's done. I didn't believe it, but I've seen it in
that's the
cartoons where I
problem.
do believe it, and I'm like,
Right.
they didn't nail it here, at least not in that cut, or at least that debut stuff. I guess we saw a little bit of is it Patrick Wilson? Is
Patrick
the guy?
Wilson. He was buffing this. He was buffing
Yeah.
that trailer.
He looks more like Aquaman than Momo ever did.
Yes, he does. That's the. I mean, I would have cast him as a Reed Richards for.
He's
MCU.
an Arthur Curry.
No, I think Patrick should have played Aquaman. I agree with Claudia.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm actually a big fan of Alan Richardson, who played Aquaman on Smallville, but he's also Jack Reacher. He's this tall, ripped, blonde guy.
Right.
He was Jack Reacher in that. He was brilliant.
He was, and it's like he should have been
back,
the feature film screen debut of Aquaman, because
Yeah.
every woman would have shown up for him, and he's got a charm about him that you could make something silly of the premise of Aquaman kind of work a lot better. And yeah, sadly we won't get that. But yeah, no, there's nothing much to this other than the fact that it looks like it's going to bomb, which I feel sad for James Wan and the co, because I mean, despite all the other errors that they had in the first Aquaman, it did please enough people to cross that $1 billion, and it was trying to distance itself from the tone of the other DC films and by Zack Snyder and so forth, and it had potential, and it had some fun moments there. But there's a lot of people that worked on this film that are not responsible for the ideology that's in it. They're just doing a job, and it's I hope they're able to just push that out of their mindset when they start working on the next thing, and nobody brings it up to mock them for it, because this is definitely a movie that Warner Brothers is like, yeah, we've given up at this point.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Brian.
Well, I like Nick. I didn't not like it. I mean, it was okay. It was hard to judge in 30 seconds. I mean, it was 30 seconds of extremely choice pieces as well. We didn't see Amber Heard, did we? Did we see Amber Heard?
No, she was not.
Not one bit.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm willing to put some money down on how little or at all if we see her in this full trailer.
But, it didn't look bad. I quite enjoyed the first one. It wasn't bad. And I do like Patrick Wilson. So, that might be enough to make me watch it, I guess, I'm not, as you all know, I'm not a big comics guy, so I don't know the comics like somebody like Clobby or Nick. You guys would know the details of the comics, so I don't know how accurate or inaccurate it is. It looked like it could be fun. Is there messaging in it? I don't know. I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Speaking of Clobby, what'd you think?
Well, it didn't tease me much. I didn't feel.
Didn't tease you or please you.
Yeah, I didn't walk away feeling all that teased. Wow, I'm so teased. I can't wait to see the trailer in 6 days, where I can see a whole minute more of it. Yay! No, they know this. They got a certified bomb, a Ruski on their hands. Now look, let's all be fair. No $1 billion movie is not going to have a sequel. You cross the bill. No matter what happens next, it's going to get made. So that's why this got made, because it had to be. And
they announced this way back, Lobby, if you remember.
This is almost as old. This has almost been shooting almost as long as the Flash has.
Yeah, a little shorter, because the Flash
little
was
shorter, but
2017. Aquaman came out 2018.
Right. But it arguably has had almost as many
2018.
It arguably has had almost as many reshoots, and is rumored to be one of the reasons why James Wan went into the hospital for exhaustion.
Yeah. So it just look, it's going to happen. It's going to blow through really quickly and not gonna make a lot of money this time because this thing looks like basically like a retread or rehash of the first one. Let's face it, it's
It does.
it hit at a time where we weren't quite as disgusted and sick of these movies, although we're getting there as we are now. And now it's full blown superhero fatigue mode, which is where we are right now, kind of. And nobody's gonna see this crap except the ladies who did enjoy it the last time. I guess maybe some of them will show up. But
Can I
don't
ask
think
you a
Lamar's
question?
going to be shirtless in this for the ladies to enjoy.
mm,
Can I ask you a question, Clobby?
Sure.
Black Manta,
yes,
who we saw in the teaser briefly, does he look comic accurate?
I think he looked pretty good in the first one, and even this one to an extent. Yeah,
Yeah.
as close as you're ever gonna get. Yeah, he looked pretty cool. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know how you could. I mean, he is one of Aquaman's few, like legit,
Arch rivals.
villains. Yeah, so
Right. Okay.
They're not going to go with the fisherman, unfortunately. For
I'm just
No.
glad that
I
they
would love to
actually
see the
gave him the
fisherman.
helmet that they did, because I was like, I
Yeah, it
remember
wasn't
thinking,
good.
oh, they're not gonna do it, and they actually did do that. And I will give Juan credit for going all the way with the outfits.
I would like
Yeah.
to see the fisherman. That would be fun.
yeah, the
You're not
fisherman's
going to
good.
see that now.
No, it's he's a very obscure Aquaman villain. So
Mm.
Aquaman doesn't have what you call a rogues gallery.
Not really, no. Most of it's just people who are like whalers or dumping
Well,
toxics in the ocean.
They're both in this movie, Ocean Master and Black Manta.
They were in the first
Remember-
movie, too.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Remember
that's what I'm
they
saying.
announced
That's
the movie on the
that's-
trench?
pretty much the extent of his rogues gallery. That so-
Yeah, what the trench was a Black Manta movie that never came to be. Yeah.
yeah. He was once called Devil Ray for a while, but other than that, it's Black Manta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, this movie
Yeah.
just does not. It looks like anyone who's not really big into all this kind of stuff would see that and go, "Didn't I see that already?"
Okay.
People who did go see it, a lot of people saw it before. They might see this trailer and go, "Oh, is that a trailer for that movie we saw a few years ago, honey? With the Jason Moe guy, whatever." It does. Looks like the same movie, really, pretty much.
I
Well,
can't
keep that in
remember.
mind.
Did Willem Dafoe die in the first one, or will he be in the second one?
I
He
think
lived.
both-
He
both
lived.
he
He
lived.
lived.
Both
He was
of-
definitely
He's not-
living.
He's not in the cast list, but hey, that could be just he could be a cameo.
Maybe they
I
cut
don't
him
know.
out. Maybe.
The man
I
with the
don't know.
biggest,
Die
the
at
man,
all.
the actor with the biggest package that's ever been seen.
Oh,
is in
Dolph
it, though.
Lundgren.
Is
Yeah.
that it?
It takes a big
Oh, yeah.
seahorse to ride him. So.
The trench is also Amber Heard.
The trench foot. The trench foot.
All right, Snyder boy, what'd you think?
Well, I thought that this teaser was stupid because it had scenes of the first movie in it, which
Oh,
leaves it-
you don't say, because that's our next story.
and as a Snyder expert, I instantly recognized it. That tells me that they've got crap on their hands. They're trying to create cinematic member, whatever the hell they're calling it, to make us want to go and see this crap. And I found it completely lazy. I find it lame. And look, I'm not a big Aquaman fan, but he does rank higher for me than Flash, but not by much. At the bottom of my DC list, Clobby, just so that we're clear on what my
Clear.
stance is. Are we clear on
We're
that?
clear. We are
Yeah,
clear, buddy.
so down at so there's all the superheroes in the Justice League, and way down at the bottom, way below the basement, somewhere where the rat's nest is the Flash, and right above that burrow is Aquaman.
You
But
wrong for that.
that being said, Aquaman, there's an important story here that could have been told, and I'm going to be a Tom Connors and a script doctor, and I'm going to tell people what that plot line is. And I just had this revelation listening to you fine gentlemen. In a world where we didn't finish the wall, we could take Aquaman, put him at the Rio Grande on the southern border, and Aquaman, with all of his fish buddies, could unite and build that water wall and help us on the south of the border and end this immigration crisis. That would be a story that's time now, current, and he would be the leader we need. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. He just needs to swim. Aquaman needs to swim with the red MAGA hat on when he summons the dolphins at the southern border.
Yeah, as you pointed out, Mike, in this headline here, Aquaman 2 teaser recycled 5-year-old footage and thought you didn't notice. Oh yeah, we noticed. Not only that, there was 2 different versions of this trailer that dropped. Widescreen one and an IMAX formatted one, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. One on the Warner site, one on DC's, and the color timing was even different between the two. So they can't even get the color timing right on the two trailers. But anyhow, so yeah, they inserted a bunch of footage from the first film into this trailer. And I didn't really notice because I've only seen the first one once and I didn't give a fuck, and all movies look the same to me now. Like,
Yeah.
that's the other problem. They all look the same. They all look like the same dingy blue or orange or whatever fucking purple fucking
Yeah.
color scheme they're going with. And it's all just drowned in that shit anyway. So I didn't notice it was anything new or old or not. But I'm not surprised. But at the same time, I don't give a fuck. But I think this is really lazy because if this was a trailer that had come out a year ago, 2 years ago, fine, no problem. Every Star Wars trailer is guilty as fuck of starting out with that fucking Force speech from Obi-Wan Kenobi, okay? We've seen him. Every single one of them since the prequels has started with that shit, and they waste half of a trailer showing us the Force is within it and everything that lives, it combines us and all that shit with a bunch of scenes from all the other movies, and then we finally get 2 seconds of new footage for the new Star Wars movie, right? I'm used to that. That's nothing new. But you got a movie that's been done for the better part of 2 years, and you're just dropping a trailer for it now, and the movie comes out in 3 months. There shouldn't be any fucking footage from the first movie in it. Especially your first teaser like this.
Yep.
You should be showing us a full-fledged fucking trailer with no old footage. What is the fucking excuse? That's what I want to know.
They should release a 30-minute trailer with a recap of the first movie. It's been so long.
Despite this used footage, I have a feeling this is going to be the best performing one worldwide at the box office of the 4 that have come out this year. Now, obviously, I don't think it's going to be a hit. It's not. I don't think it's going to do. I don't think it's going to be $1 billion. I think it's going to do probably around 400 to 500.
I think it'll be lucky to do that. But maybe they don't have any footage from it because they lost the movie in the servers somewhere.
I could not find
located.
that Variety article.
It's because it's. Did you see what it is? VERIATY.
It's Variety. Yeah.
I got a lot of people with this motherfucker, but it's so crazy that people actually believed it. Like, they're at this point, they're like, "Oh no, we wouldn't put it past Warner Brothers." You're like, we don't know what happened to it. It just disappeared. No,
it was
gone.
there. It was there
Zach,
on the hard
I can
drive.
tell you,
Aquaman 2. Then
if that happened,
it wasn't there anymore.
I can tell you what happened. Zach took it home.
No, I was just kidding. Of course,
No,
with that
Zach
crappy
wants
thing.
the fake Trident. He doesn't understand it.
You know, that's actually happened before, believe it or not, where a movie almost got lost. Do you guys know what movie it was?
2.
Toy Story 2.
Yep, Toy Story 2. Yeah, I heard about that.
Because famously, somebody put in a wrong key directive that started deleting all the fucking files for the movie, and animators are sitting here working on it. All of a sudden, they said Woody's hat would disappear, then his eyeballs, then his face, and then the rest of him would disappear. And then all of a sudden, the other characters would start disappearing, certain bits and pieces. Like, all of a sudden, they're like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And they couldn't figure it out. Like, by the time they figured it out, like 80% of the movie had been lost, and all the characters and assets. So they were fucking panicked.
That's one way
but
to
they
get
were
the
lucky.
attention of your bosses.
A lot of people took stuff home to work on at home.
This
That's what they
time.
used.
Well, it was one specific woman who happened to be one of the producers that happened to be pregnant at the time. So she was doing a lot of work remotely. And she's like, I think I have most of this backed up at home. It won't have the last couple days worth of work on it, but it's piped in or whatever to where. So her and a couple of guys went to her house. They grabbed the computer and they had 2 guys carrying it with a blanket wrapped around, treating it like it's like a baby, and they plugged it in and everything worked. And oh my God, they restored it and they ended up redoing the whole movie anyway, which is even more hilarious.
Wow. Great movie though.
Well, I don't know why, because at that time, that version of it they only did it under protest because Eisner said, "We're making a Toy Story 2, whether you're involved or not." And they're like, "Well, we're going to be involved." So they did it, and it was going to be basically the same concept. But as they saw that cut together, they're like, "You know what? This is too good for straight to video." And Lasseter agreed, but he's like, "Well, we have another problem though." And they're like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Well, this is straight to video quality. We need to make this a movie." So they redid everything in better quality, added a little bit more to the story, fleshed it out a little bit more. Otherwise, it was pretty much the same movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
And they re-rendered it and reanimated some stuff, yeah.
Fascinating.
No, it's scary to think that they almost lost the whole movie, but it didn't matter anyway because they remade it all anyhow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, love that movie.
Because the whole opening bit, I guess, is completely different. That's the big difference. How
Okay.
Woody gets lost and everything was changed. You can find it on the old DVDs. They have a lot of the old stuff that was the original opening and stuff. So, but anyway, that being said, that was kind of fun. Was there anything else we should talk about? I know we got a super chat here. Adam Wolford says there shouldn't be a Pet Cemetery universe. There should be a Dark Universe or Dark Tower universe where it connects to all of other Stephen King's books. Now, I didn't see that other series he had, the Castle Rock one. I heard mostly bad things about it, though.
I'm not too familiar with that.
But that's kind of what that Castle Rock series was tying a lot of his stories together into the same world, which they all kind of do take place in the same universe. In a lot of his fictional main towns and whatnot. So, yeah, I know they were going to try and do something with Dark Tower here, but how is that Amazon show going? Did it get? It must not have got picked up, I'm guessing.
I can't even remember ever seeing it properly released, but I know it has because some people have talked about it. But...
No, the movie did. But remember, Amazon picked up the rights to do a new streaming series of it, and they were going to reboot it. And we just I haven't heard nothing about it ever since. This was like 2 years ago now. It was like a year or so after the one with Idris Elba came out.
Right.
And they're like, no, it's not going to be attached to that one at all. That was the thing in the report, is that it's a wholly new thing. So I guess maybe it just didn't get picked up or it didn't go nowhere, or maybe it's still coming. We just haven't got to it yet. I don't know. I haven't checked in on it. I just wondered if anybody else had heard anything.
Nope.
Yeah, and Cat's Eye has a ton of Easter eggs, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So did the Dark Tower movie. There was a few Easter eggs in there. That was the only thing that was worth watching it for. Otherwise, it was crap. But yeah, no, I guess we'll wrap this up a little early. I know, Nick, you got a show coming up here in a few. Well, now it'd be like an hour.
Oh, yeah, an hour. Our usual Toxic Tuesday. We're talking a Jackie Chan classic in the form of Police Story.
Nice.
I have not. Yeah.
I was confused and I didn't get it watched because I have the police story. The police stories.
Not Angie Dickinson's Police.
I thought you said Super Cop, so I wasn't sure if we were doing the first one or the third one, and I hadn't watched them in a while.
No Angie Dickinson.
No,
I
Angie
have the
Dickinson.
trilogy though.
Yeah.
Only you and I would remember that, Chloe.
Yeah. Boy, what we need. What about Earl Holliman? That means he won't be in it.
See, because here's the problem. I never saw the first two until like 20 years ago when they came out on DVD originally or whatever. Because when they released the third one here, that was Super Cop. They just released it as Super Cop.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
And that's how I knew. As far as I knew, that was the first movie. I didn't know there was other movies until way later.
Oh, I
got them in 4K. I just haven't watched them again yet.
I may get that in the 4K. I only have the original OG DVD of the first one, and I definitely would like to have.
So you're doing the first one, okay?
Sure. Yeah,
so that's the one I know the least, probably, and the second one, obviously, but the third one I know okay. I wasn't sure which one you were watching, so that's my bad.
Super Cop. We'll do Super Cop one day. We will. I think that's necessary. Maybe a Jackie Chan month down the line, but we haven't talked on Mr. Chan in a while. So yeah,
I do Rumble in the Bronx eventually too. Yeah,
we did.
You did it already?
Back, yeah. 70s was there. I think it was like episode 30 or something.
I was gonna say it's got to be pretty early on. Yeah,
dude.
Have you guys? You haven't done Yes, Ma'am? Have you?
No, we have
ma'am?
not. We need to.
Like MAM.
Yeah, it's one of the first. Oh crap! I'm blanking on.
I thought I was thinking of the Jim Carrey.
Isn't it Jim Carrey? I was thinking
that's Yes, Man.
No. Yes, Ma'am is a martial arts film with two female martial artists. One of which she was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. The main star who won the Oscar, who's also in
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle
Yeoh. Yes, it's Michelle Yeoh. Is one of her first films.
Oh, I've never seen this one.
It's got some great choreography in it. It also has some blonde chick who is
Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah, Cynthia.
I know the movie you mean. Yeah.
It's a fun movie. Great climactic fight as well.
Wasn't it Michelle Yeoh's first movie? That maybe even her first.
One of her first ones. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember that movie. Yeah, great fight. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Scenes. Yeah, the two of them.
And it's still got some sexiness to it as well for these ladies. So good for Toxic Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
No, it
you're
does
fine.
need to be done. I strongly agree. Now there's so many. Even though we have 101 episodes, there's still so many that we have yet to have done. So no, but tonight, Police Story, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun, and some of the most wildest Jackie Chan action is in this movie.
I watched it again today. Oh, it's hilarious. It's funny.
Dude, it's such it like when I watched it as a teenager, I thought of it as an action movie. Now I watch it as an action
It's a
comedy.
comedy. It's Buster
Yeah,
Keaton. It's all Buster
yes.
Keaton. Yeah,
So
it's brilliant.
come check that out in an hour. And of course, Comic Shop Talk Friday night. And I'll be here on Midnight's Edge After Dark Thursday night. Thanks for being here, chat, even though it's a slow day. Hopefully it will be a little bit more eventful Thursday. And thanks for having me, panel. Good to hang out with Tom, Mike, Lobby, Script, and 70s, who I'll see in an hour.
Awesome sauce. Script Doctor, what you got going on?
I'm probably gonna go take a nap.
I am
like
right there with you, but I'm not going to join you. Not just because you're in Canada, but then it would be gay.
It'd be awkward, yes. No, but if you are curious about a little bit of updates and some clarifications on the strike, I did a live show this morning for an hour, went over that, explained why Drew Barrymore is not a scab, or at least up till now isn't. I don't know what she did on her show, whether or not she violated any sort of rules, but I gave her the benefit of the doubt in this regard, because that's what a responsible adult should do. So you can check that out. It was a fun
Awesome.
impromptu stream.
Well, do check that out, because we were going to do an update, but I think just check out your stream on it if you want any news on the current events in Hollywood as far as the strike goes. Script Doctor is the one who's been pretty much up to date on most of it and knows what's going on and how to explain it anyway. So do check out his channel for that, and of course his Patreon. Brian, what you got going on?
Well, as Nick said, I'll be over with him on Toxic Tuesday in about an hour to do Police Story, Police Squad, Police. No, I don't know. It's Police Story. There's too many words, too many movies with police in the title. As well as the normal round of live shows that I'm on my own show, my own channel next Monday afternoon, 3 p.m. Mountain Time. We're doing an edition of the Cult Comedy Crew show that we do, and this time we're going to talk about Kentucky Fried Movie.
Ooh,
and the early days of Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker.
Oh.
So
yeah,
and John Landis, of course. So yeah, so that'll be next Monday on that 70s Rock Fan channel. Be there or be rhomboid.
The newscast sketch in Kentucky Fried Movie is quite clever.
That's right. Yeah. I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11. Just could have been made for YouTube.
Yep.
All right.
A Fistful of Yen, of course, the greatest martial arts movie ever made.
Indeed. Clubby, what you got going on?
Oh, well, not much tonight, of course, but I'll be on all the usual shows. Wednesday, Wildcard Wednesday night, tomorrow night. Oh, before that, Yoki, I think Yoki, Loki, whatever you want to call it. Yoki Loki. I hope he's out there on his channel tomorrow night with the comic round table. And then, of course, tomorrow, after that, my show, Wildcard Wednesday night. Thursday night, will be the Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark. And, of course, Saturday night, Star Trek, of course, reviewing all of Real Trek, 4 more episodes of Star Trek Voyager Season 2. Yeah. Sorry. So anyway, and lots of other fun out there. So thanks for having me, buddy. It was great being here. Everyone have a great night.
Excellent. Glad to have you here. And of course, last but definitely not least, the man, the Iron Tax Man, the Mexican Iron Man, Mikey. What you got going on?
I will be learning about this thing called the YouTube. I think YOUTOOB.
When's your fucking stream?
And it's not happening this week. I'm too busy. I'm not going to Burbank this week.
Loser, you're so busy.
Dude, I cannot go to Burbank. I found out I forgot Friday is a tax day that I totally forgot. And so I can't go to Burbank this week. So I got to go to Burbank in another week. But no live stream this week. I got to cancel on Twitter and on YouTube. So bad news, but I just can't do it. I got to work. So further proving that I am not a YouTuber because I'm canceling.
No,
a
you're
live-
not a YouTuber. You're the
No, in fact,
YouTuber.
if you cancel
The
a stream, that means you're definitely a YouTuber.
definitely
Yeah.
the YouTuber.
Yeah, I can't win with you people.
What do you mean, you people?
You Team Cracker? Lance Corporal Waffles, you are not going to stand in front of Disney by yourself. Oh God, I got to contact everybody. I got to get a message out on Twitter. I got to reschedule this meeting here because I got like 6 people showing up to meet me there. Okay, all right. I gotta go. I gotta get on Twitter. I gotta reschedule. I gotta reschedule this live stream. I gotta tell people when I'm going to Burbank. Wait, if I go to Burbank and live stream, then that's gonna prove I'm a YouTube. Oh, I can't win this thing. Oh.
Tell them where you're gonna come.
Yes, indeed. Or do they like it when it's a surprise, Mike?
Mikey, if you want to be a real
Depends.
YouTuber, you make a video about the fact you're going to be live streaming. That's what real YouTubers do.
Mhm.
Okay.
They make shorts about the fact they're going to live stream.
Gonzalo Bergali says, but Bob is waiting for you, Mike. Haven't you seen the video I shared in the Facebook group? I don't think Mike's on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook for God's
He
sake.
actually isn't. So
I
you
mean,
to
I
do
have
that
a
on
Facebook
Twitter.
ID. I just
He never uses. I don't even know if he's ever even friended me on.
four times a year, maybe.
Maybe FB doesn't stand for Facebook. Maybe it's like, I don't know.
I hate Twitter
Fat
as it is.
Burrito or something, or I don't know. It's a different group.
Yeah, different group.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
Thanks
Gonzalo.
for having me.
You'll have to send that to him on Twitter. And of course, Mike, you are the co-host, man. What are you talking about?
Oh,
We missed
okay.
you.
I'm back, people.
That's right.
And I will let Zack Snyder know all of your well wishes. Thank you, Script. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everybody.
Sucks.
Yeah, say hi from me.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him know. Yeah, Zach, Clubby told you that you can go F yourself. Yeah.
And
I
call
just
him
said
a
respectful
cunty
of
cunt.
that.
Not just
Only
a
that-
cunt, but a cunty
This
cunt.
is how
Only
it's gonna
this
go down.
weekend.
I'm gonna sit down with Zach and be like, Zach. So I was on the show, and I was your biggest fan there, and not that says much, but I was your biggest fan. And Script says you are a talentless hack that never should have made it in Hollywood.
Wow,
but your simpy ways somehow got you there. And
Whoa.
Clobby said that you can just go F yourself for all of your trash and your Superman garbage.
Yes.
Nick said that there isn't an authentic thing in any of your storylines, and you need to go back to being a kid and read the comic books properly. CC Karaoke didn't say much because he's from Canada and his government doesn't allow him to. And Tom, the host of the show, said that you and your fans can go F themselves 15 ways from Alabama. In fact, you are all a big group of.
I say, you tell that last part there, I was like, that ain't remotely what I said. You forgot a lot of words.
Well, I'm trying not to say a lot of 4-letter words.
Oh, yeah.
I like 4-letter words.
I know you do.
They're my favorite. They're so easy to say.
Hack is a 4-letter word.
And they mean so much.
Yes.
They have so many meanings and uses. But all right, kids. We will see you most likely on the morning show if you don't see me before then. Take care of yourself and each other.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, bye.